Hey everyone, this is Sunny Justice from It's a Crime and Shame. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing and please give this video a like and a share. So, this story is gonna drive me crazy. And it seems to be something that you would think was more simple, not as complex as it's probably gonna turn out to be. But where is Nicola? Bulley, okay? And this story is gonna drive you crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy. But pay attention to what I'm going to show you and I'm going to tell you but this case truly is going to drive me bananas if I don't figure out what went on, because there's inconsistencies and it's driving me bananas, like I said. Legitly, it's going to drive me bananas. So you guys have to help me out here, and you guys have to leave your comments in the comment section of this video, because I don't want to go into cray-cray, okay? And I know that simple things always turn into difficult things when it should be simple. Don't you agree? Do you want to be a banana just like me? I don't think so. But let's get into it. Okay, so I want to show you something. And now we need to figure out the truth here, or find out the truth. Let me show you this, okay? Okay, so Nicola's phone was found on the ground. She said the phone was found under a tree. As we can see what tree that was. Okay, and it has a sign warning of deep water nailed to it. The underwater drop is estimated to be around 14 feet at the spot by the bench. Okay, so was it on the ground or was it on the bench? So that's confusing, right? Because we hear that it was on the ground and then on the bench, but that's a whole different ball game if it's found on the ground. So picture this, okay? So we have Penny, right? Penny is the lady from the caravan. And Ron is the guy in the interview. Now that's Penny's brother-in-law. Penny is Ron's wife's sister. Does that make sense to you? Okay? So Ron is married to Penny's sister. Okay. So we did not know this up until yesterday. So if anyone's thinking that the guy that was on the upper field is Ron, your chances are you're probably wrong, because that guy had a white dog, not a black dog. And we heard that this other person came in behind Penny. That would be Ron. So work with me on this one, okay? So Penny comes in first and she sees Willow, she sees the leash, she sees the phone under the tree, okay? Now, at some point not too long after, Ron comes in the gate, and Ron sees the phone on the bench, probably because Penny put it on the bench, because why would somebody leave their phone on the ground? So she probably picked it up, she probably put it on the bench, and when Ron saw it, the phone was on the bench. Now that could be plausible and make possible sense to why we're hearing ground and phone. But there's a huge difference in the outlook of how that case then should have been handled. So, like, I'm not saying that I know exactly that is the case. I'm just going by what was put out there in the papers. And I think it's very distinctive when someone says that a phone was found under a tree versus on a bench. Okay, so work with me on this one here. So obviously if the phone fell in or was sitting on the bench, right? You would think then that Nicola was sitting on the bench, put her phone down, maybe, oops, fell into the water, fell into the water. Okay, that would make sense. But if her phone is found on the ground, that's a whole different ball game. That would mean that something else happened to Nicola, possibly. Because why would her phone be on the ground? Obviously, that would mean something sinister happened if her phone was on the ground. But I want you guys, I'm going to play that clipping of Ron, who just, pops into the picture as they were, of course, given that interview. It's like, oh, yeah, sir, come on by. Oh, hey, aren't you that one that we were talking to? Oh, yeah, come here, turn around, let's talk to you. But I want you to listen closely to what Ron says, especially when he's talking about his wife and the phone call between him and Penny. Okay, so I'm going to play that for you now.
Sir,
come on
fine.
through.
Do come
How
through.
are you?
No, not at all.
Good to see you.
You live here?
Well, it has been like that. So you actually, you saw the phone, is that right? Yeah. You saw the phone that Friday morning?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was around, was it after 9:30?
I gave a full statement to the police with the exact time because, because my wife's telephone call had the time on it, so but I've given a full statement to the police.
Was it just on the bench, or?
Pardon?
Was it just on the bench?
The phone?
Yeah.
How's the last 3 weeks been?
Each day something new comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But,
And in terms of, you know, when you saw phone, lead and Willow, who you knew who Nicola was?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you knew the Willow, that was it, wasn't it? You knew you knew Willow.
I knew I'd seen both the owners of Willow walking this dog in the past, but whilst I knew them by face, like I know your face, I didn't know the name.
Yeah. But I remember you actually telling me when you saw the phone, the lead and Willow, you were like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on it because something doesn't feel right.
I thought somebody had gone to the toilet in the, you know, that would have been my first. I got to about this red brick building here, and
he's about to talk about his wife and Penny.
And, then there was a conversation, but my wife was trying to ring me, I was trying to ring her. Penny had rung my wife to say that she'd fastened the dog up that was.
And Penny was the lady who actually spotted Willow initially and saw the phone, but didn't know what was going on with the phone.
That's right. Yeah.
And then after that, you know, what happened?
Well,
what were the next steps?
It was just a progression of things happening. You know, we found out because of the wallpaper on the phone. We found out who the couple were. Then the school was contacted, and Paul arrived.
Yeah. Well, look, we'll let you carry on with your walk. I know you do this every morning.
Yes.
Nicola did this almost every morning as well.
Probably, yeah.
We're retracing those steps. This time 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So an important
I know.
juncture. Thank you very much. Take care.
Take care.
All the best.
You.
What he said was, me and my wife tried ringing each other. Penny had called his wife, okay? Here, let me come back into bigger. How do I say this? So, Ron is Penny's brother-in-law. So, Ron is married to Penny's sister. So, Ron is saying that him and his wife tried phoning each other, that Penny had called her sister, which is Ron's wife, and said, probably best to tie the dog up. Wait a second. I thought Penny was there already. So, what? Because Ron is saying that he was there with Penny because he came in after Penny, who saw the phone, I guess on the ground perhaps, like she said, on the ground, the leash, and Willow. So if Ron came after her, and again, they were like, you know, looking at the phone, whatever, and of course he thought that he should, stay around because obviously something wasn't right. So how does that make sense that Penny is calling Ron's wife and telling them, his wife, her sister, to tie up the dog? Does that even make sense to you guys? Right? Why is something so simple all of a sudden so complicated? Okay, you guys. So after listening to it like quite a few times, I'm going to think that Ron actually misspoke there. When he said that him and his wife were trying to call each other and that Penny had called his wife, which is her sister, that I think what he meant to say, honestly, was that Penny called his wife and the wife said, you know, you should tie up the dog or something like that. Now that makes sense. Okay, you guys, so I'm still a bit confused here because nowhere in that interview there did we hear anything about Annie, which is the daughter-in-law of Penny. So apparently it was said that that Penny had to go off to some sort of appointment. So that would mean that Ron was still there And then Annie came along, and then they looked at the phone, and then they called. But Penny already knew who, Nicola was. So I'm confused there. Again, you guys, help me out here. Leave your comments in the comment section of this video. Help me clear that part up, because it just seems strange. I mean, that anyone watching that interview wouldn't hear it properly, and then they would just think it went like that, when really I think that there was a little bit different story to how that happened, that Penny had an appointment to go to, like I said. So that would mean probably Ron was still there, right? And that Annie came along after, looked at the phone, and that's when they decided that that she knew who it was, and that they were gonna call the school. That's probably maybe how it went. Okay, I swear, it's gonna drive me crazy. I need you guys to help. Okay, I need you guys to tell me where I'm going wrong here, because that's what's being said, and that's what's showing in the articles. Okay, let's come back to this. She said the phone was found under a tree. So did that just, come out of somebody? They just made that up? Kind of seems odd, but don't you think it sounds, if they can't find her in the water, guys, is that because her phone was truly found on the ground? And then when Ron came by, she had put it on the bench, because obviously if you see a phone on the ground, you're going to pick it up and wonder why this dog's running around. You're not thinking, oh, crime scene. That makes more sense to me. What do you guys think? Because I'm confused right now. And again, Ron is not the person then that's in the upper field. That person has a white dog, not a black dog like Ron has. Ron is a person that is related to Peggy. Okay, he is the brother-in-law of Peggy from the caravan park, and her sister is Ron's wife. Make sense? Okay. All right. Did I give you guys a headache? But anyways, help me out, guys. Anyways, please give this video a like and a share, and thank you for watching this video. And of course, you guys, prayers for Nicola Bulley and her family. Hopefully answers will come soon, and we'll keep covering this case. It's very intriguing and very sad, and I pray that Nicola is okay and that she returns home safely. But you know what? At the end of the day, we just don't know. Okay, you guys, I'm just going to leave you 2 pictures of Ron over here with his dog. Again, it's not white, and I'm also going to leave you with the timeline right here. So again, you guys have a great night, and prayers for Nicola.